Welcome to Cooperville.
It's Tuesday. We are back after an elongated holiday weekend. Hopefully you had a fantastic 4th of July. America, fuck yeah. It's great. Beautiful weather, at least here in the upper Midwest. Great 3-dayer, which felt like a 5-dayer. It took a minute. Took a minute to get back in the swing of things. Hello, y'all. Hello. It's good to see you. We are here. We are back. We are live. Cooperville Live is in full swing. Big show today. Ben Jewell. I think it's Jewell. Could be wrong. From Ventruss, the band Ventruss from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is on the program today. I see we're already glitching. Yeah. Apparently the Wi-Fi is not yet reset from the old holiday weekend. C-Dub's back in the house. What up? What up, what up, what up, what up? Let's do this. Bam! Live and in color. Wherever you're watching, Facebook Live, youtube.com/Cooperville Live, or on Twitch, the Cooperville Live Twitch channel. I'll thank you for bringing it back around to us here today. Hope you're doing well, C-Dubs. We are well here. I was just like a few minutes late getting things riled up and fired up here. I was downstairs. I was on a very important phone call. Joe's in the house. What's up, Joe? It's on an important phone call. Working on some stuff, getting ready for today's show. Nick and the dog had gone out for a walk. I walked upstairs. It was a downpour. Like, would you like me to come and get you? And then she didn't answer, so I just started driving. Saw him. She's like, no, I'm good. Walked in the rain. Like, you a bad mofo. I like it. All right. Let's send some thanks out. CoopervilleClothing.com. That's the website. Whatever you need. Badassery all around. Men's, women's, we got the hat collection. You know you want some of the goodness. Joe, your shirt's right there, baby. Your shirt is right there. AR Grimm, baby. AR Grimm's coming in hot. We are about to launch some new stuff with AR Grimm. But I will tell you, we are dropping a new item. New item drop coming up on Friday at 8 a.m. Central. So make sure you watch the socials, watch the site, CoopervilleClothing.com. And Check it out. New item coming this Friday at 8 a.m. to CoopervilleClothing.com. Captain Coop's Beard Company, your beard oils, your beard balms, your beard butters. If you are bearded, this is your destination. Get yourself locked in. I'd go Captain Quarters Beard Balm if I were you. That's my jam. Of course, I do the oil and the balm, you know. Fresh out the shower. A blow dryer action afterwards. So good. CaptainCoops.com. And, of course, Midwest Meals. Big thanks out to Dan and the crew at Midwest Meals. 16 signature or build your own meals. Healthy with your macros right there on the labeling. Pop them in the microwave, and you're good to go for the week. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, they got it all. Get to go pick your meals, and they ship them nationwide to your door. Unless you live in the area, then you can go and pick them up. That's what I do. So check them out, MidwestMeals.com. Promo code, by the way, is Cooper at checkout, and you get 10% off your first order. MidwestMeals.com is the site. I'm going to check that out. So, gotta get the funds for a shirt now. I feel you, bro. I feel you. I know the feeling. But super excited for our new drop that's coming up on Friday. So follow us on the socials, Cooperville Clothing on Facebook, Cooperville Clothing Co. on Instagram, and of course the website. We'll have that new drip coming out on Friday. So good stuff. Again, hope you all had a great holiday weekend. Definitely enjoyed it. We took yesterday off of the show. We had the crazy busy weekend. We went out to dinner on Thursday. Friday we were getting ready to have a party on Saturday. I had a party on Saturday. Sunday we were on the lake for the day with our friends Des and John. Thank you to the Sorensens for having us out on beautiful Lake Wissota for the 4th of July. And so yesterday we were just kind of like, let's just rest for the day. We did. Spent the day in the water, in the pool, had some cocktails, and just chilled, soaked up the sun. Beautiful weekend, though. Man, I know it's probably a little hot for you, Joe, a couple of those times, but that was a nice one. I'll take that any day. And then this. Just some sprinkles now. First rain of the day here. Yeah, it sprinkled a while, then it rained, then it stopped. I thought I was going to do one of those stops raining and then get super sticky and hot. And then I went back upstairs and I was like, oh, there seems to be a bit of a downpour happening at this moment. Hey, probably go save the girlfriend. Allergies killing you all weekend. Yeah, Nicole was having problems with her allergies the other day. There's no good time of year, except maybe winter, if you're into that sort of thing. Still miserable today. I had a couple people I was dealing with in inner workings today on a bunch of stuff, talking about head colds and allergies and things like that. Yeah. Oh, we did drop a new episode of Chip with Chats. Today it's about Rockfest. My buddy Wade and I sat down. We talked about Rockfest, which is coming up next week. So check that out. It is on the Go Chippewa County YouTube page and on their Facebook page and on their Insta. Great conversation with Wade from Rockfest talking about the return of live music. Joe, thank you for watching, man. I know you checked it out and left your comments on my page, so appreciate that. And so I was surprised today they released kind of a short snippet behind the scenes thing, and I had a couple of cameos in there because I interviewed her backstage and brought them onto the main stage too. So that's cool stuff. You can check that out at Jessley Country on Instagram. I know they posted the video there. I shared it as well on my page. 20 people over on Saturday. Rousing games of beer darts over the course of that time period. Whew. And then, but it's great to see people back out on Sunday out on Lake Wissota, both lakes, Big Lake and Small Lake. But it was so great to see just a ton of people back out. I mean, boats were out. People were at all the establishments on the lake. They were all packed. So that was great to see people back out and interacting and enjoying life. Lots of red, white, and blue out on the lake. It was great. But the whole people thing was the biggest takeaway. It was like, oh, man, freaking people. Where have you all been for the last year and a half? Waiting for the 4th of July weekend, I guess, to come out and get shit back in lock. But it was good to see. So hopefully you had a great weekend and had some extra time off to enjoy and do all the things that, you get to do as American. Yeah. This is another thanks to Mama Joe, because Mama Joe is like the conduit between me and many of the guests that we have on the show. She passed Ben on to me, and I had a chance to do a little research on the band, and from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, from the Bayou, people. From the Bayou. Ben is in the house. What's up, brother?
What is going on, Cooper? How you doing?
Dude, it's a beautiful day to be alive. How about yourself?
It is a beautiful day to be alive, man. It's a little gloomy out here in Louisiana, a little bit of rain, but I tell you what, it's still a good day to be alive. Really enough, I just got back from shopping for some clothes for our next video shoot.
Ooh.
So, yeah, definitely a good day.
I got to ask about that because you opened up with it. So, like, is it specific? Like, do you have like an outfit in mind, or you just kind of go like willy nilly? Like, I think this would look good. I think this will look good. Like, do you have like what's the process when you're going new music video? Got to find my gear.
It always depends, we talked about it with our wardrobe and our production team and everything. And, they kind of gave me like a certain, they want us to have like a certain, I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but a certain look, they gave me an idea about something to wear, I'm not giving away nothing now. It's got to be all hush hush, but we can talk a little bit about it. But yeah, it's planned, definitely planned, at least for this shoot. 5 outfits in mind at least, because we're going to be changing and all of that. I got what I was getting from my performance scene today.
Gotcha. Okay. So we have outfit changes. You're like Cher. You're just going to be like coming in swinging this sequins, and that's probably giving away too much. Now we've ruined the whole thing. Sequins and
damn it. Shit. Spoiler alert.
Glitter all over the place. It's going to be a Ventruss song with glitter bombs. I don't know. It's going to be weird, but
that's right. That's right.
Thank you, first and foremost, for taking the time out to jump on and be a part of the show. Excited to talk to you about all this stuff. I want to talk about you like getting into music, like where it interjected itself. Are you originally from Louisiana? You're originally from the Bayou? Is that your spot?
Yep. Born and raised on the Bayou.
It should be a song. I feel like it is. So where musical influences, like where do they start from a young age down in Louisiana? Like obviously there's a culture, there's a musical vibe down there. What's like, how did it first interject itself into your life as a young star?
Well, my parents always liked music. Whenever I was young, they listened to a lot of country music, and which is weird because I really don't listen to country music anymore. But that was kind of like my first like dive into it, like Tim McGraw and Kenny Chesney. My first concert ever was a Kenny Chesney concert back in 2000. So, country was kind of like the birth of like my love for music. And then whenever I got around 8, that was around the time that like boy bands and all that kind of stuff was popular. So I was listening to stuff like, so weirdly enough, my first favorite band, not the first record I ever bought now. The first record I actually ever bought was Puddle of Mudd's Come Clean. We'll get back to that. But the first like band that like really wanted me, like made me want to become a singer was this Christian boy band called Plus One. So that started like my birth of like wanting to sing. And then as I got older, I got less out of that. I mean, what was weird because like I got out of that trend, and then this is around the time I'm young. So this is around the time that like new metal is going out, but like I'm getting into it. So I'm getting into like Linkin Park and Hoobastank. I was in like the very light new metal at the time. Linkin Park, Hoobastank, Head PE. And I got really, really involved in it. And then I started getting into hip hop, and I started wanting to rap. And as I got into like high school, I started kind of coming back into like the rock and the metal side, and really, really falling in love with getting into it deeper than I ever got into music in my life. Around 13 and 14, it just like, it became me. It gave me a voice. Like I felt like this was me, I wasn't, cause I grew up in a small town in Louisiana, and I felt like, I don't know, like there wasn't like much of like, for like someone like me, there wasn't a whole lot of, opportunity. I mean, I like sports. I played sports, but that wasn't like where my heart was. Other than baseball, I loved baseball, but I wanted to like do something more. Like that spoke to me more than any of that ever did.
Yeah, it's really cool to hear musical influences, because I do think people in general have like this idea. Well, obviously you've been a rock metal guy your entire life, and you go, well, no, I went through this roller coaster of life, and parental influence is always an interesting thing, because I think we all have that, and then it's a weird, not like push away, but we eventually wield our own path. We find our own avenue. Like, I'm going to experiment in hip hop, and trust me, I was raised country. I went into like a I thought I was going to be the fourth member of House of Pain for a while. Like I had high hopes in life, and then ended up, starting my radio career in alternative rock radio. So a lot of that stuff you're talking about, Linkin Park, 311, Hoobastank, all that stuff was all like, oh yeah, I vibe with this. But do you feel like a lot of those little nuanceical things about music, for say songwriting, or perhaps that it finds its way into your music, regardless if it's not maybe genre specific to where you are? Like maybe there's a little bit of hip hop influence when you're writing a lyric, or there's, a little bit of, I don't want to say country bass line, but you know what I'm saying? Like other things that kind of find themselves in your music that makes it your own.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll catch things, actually, like what was funny was that band Plus One, I started revisiting that band like in the last year, because I hadn't listened to that since I was a kid. And it was exactly like that. I'm like, wow, I can kind of hear this like in my music now, like it was just like, I don't know. It was like one of those like weird, like full circle moments. I'm like, wow, I can relate to this. I write like this in a way, so it adds on to it. Yes. And then hip hop, of course, definitely I can hear that. And I mean, Eminem is one of my biggest influences. So I still like hip hop, and I can definitely hear all of that come in. Not so much the country, even though I can sing country, but I wouldn't say that I write anything that I write doesn't really come out as country.
Come on, I could feel a little steel guitar maybe in the next single. Things could just pop off a little bit.
Maybe lock them doors and turn the lights down low.
There it is. See?
I can sing country.
Multiple different talents. Now, so tell me about like your first band experience. Is this your first band experience, or did you have like, I know you talked about like 14, 15 kind of being that point where you're like, no, music is what calls to me. Did you do like the band in the garage, playing with your buddies, and then like doing your first show? Like, tell me about that part of life, because that's always where the good stories start, is like we're in this garage, or we're in my my buddy's dad's shed somewhere, and like 10 people showed up and we played a show with no idea what we were playing, but we made it happen. What was your come about in as far as the putting a band together?
Man, okay, so this is my first band that actually like played shows and all that, but I definitely was like starting bands. Like whenever I was around 10 or 11, I just got like my kids in the neighborhood, and I'm like, hey, I want to start a band, so you're going to play in it. So I had a keyboard, no guitar. I was just thinking about that. I was telling the story the other day. For drums, we took like styrofoam plates and just set them on a table, and he just was hitting them. Like we were just making noise, and it was just kind of like the act of, and I just had a microphone and a karaoke machine, and I was just singing and jamming or rapping or doing whatever the hell. And that obviously faded. And then I got it more like around the time I was 14, that's whenever I really got into it. And I was playing drums. I had a Starcaster drum set from Sam's. It's my beginning drum set, but I mean, I put a cousin gave me Evan's head. So I was like, kind of like making it sound the best way that I can. And I started a band whenever I was 14 with 3 other guys I went to school with. We jammed. We never ever we had like one practice where everybody actually came to practice. We always had practices. Somebody couldn't come, or their mama wouldn't bring them, or this and that. And it was just, we never could ever have a full practice with everybody there. It was and that was called Divine Intervention. That's what I consider my first band ever. And I mean, I still talk to like the other guy that I started that band with. He's in a band, Hayden Kimball. He's in a band called Voice of the Enemy. Check them out as well. But everybody else in that band that don't do anything music anymore. One of them tried, but it didn't really work out. And he kind of he got more into cars and whatnot. But that started. Then I started another band with another group of friends of mine. And that lasted for about a week because they went on my MySpace and posted some pretty gruesome shit, inappropriate shit that what was it? It was very inappropriate. It was ridiculous. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this no more. So then years go by, I'm bandless. And then I decided to start a band with my cousin and my grandmother's neighbor, who was around my age, and we were good friends. And another one of their friends, because they're getting obsessed with guitar. I played drums at the time. So we had this idea for this band, and I realized something. We didn't have a singer. I'm like, well, who's going to sing? Do you know anybody that will sing? Well, actually, no, we knew this one guy who could sing. And when we asked him to sing, he was like, "Nah, dude, I'm rapping now." And that dude was getting in a whole lot of legal trouble as well. So it was kind of like good. So after thinking about it, I knew of a guy that played drums, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this singing. I'm gonna try to sing. I've always wanted to be a singer, but I always thought that you were either born with it or you weren't. So I decided to give it a go, and that was the early point. That was like the fetus stage of Ventruss. We didn't even have a name. Like we a year later we came up with the name. We called ourselves Embrace Goodbye. And that was another thing we couldn't get. Nobody could come to practice all at the same time. And when they did, they wanted to go ride 4-wheelers or they wanted to go inside and play video games. And I'm like, let's jam. Let's because I was like boasting about it to everybody at school. I'm like I'm in a band. We're about to do some really cool stuff, and I was like a fool, I was just I can't get anyone to do anything. So rehashed that out, found a group of older guys, and eventually we played a few shows under Embrace Goodbye, and then that was whenever we came up with the name Ventruss, because Ventruss is not a Star Wars reference, even though I got asked that the other day. I do Lyft and Uber, and somebody asked me that. It's actually a reference to Ventruss, Louisiana, which is actually right. I live on the lake, and it's right across the lake. That's where the band started. Nice. So we decided we wanted something that was simple. We didn't like the name Embrace Goodbye. We never really did. Yeah. We wanted something that was one word, simple, and something that meant a lot to us. Something that symbolized something. And that happened to be Ventruss. And the only people that I knew at the time were people from around this area, and they all thought it was dumb. Or either that
that's stupid.
It's like Ventruss. That's like redneck as hell, It's like, well, it means something. We spell it differently though.
Right.
It's Ventress. So we decided to spell it different. So interesting story. But that's like that. That's like all the fetus stages of Ventruss, and then years come down and member changes here and there, and then around 2013, 2014 is when we really wanted to make it serious. That's when we're like, okay, let's start hustling. And we found the right crowd and the right bands to play with, because a lot of bands our age were doing at the time. Post-hardcore was really popular, and we weren't doing that. We weren't as heavy as we were. We were more of a hard rock band because I couldn't scream yet. So we were on more of the lines of Papa Roach and 3 Days Grace and stuff like that. And that was just not cool at the time anymore. So kids didn't want to book with us. And then we ended up playing with actually guys that were way older than us. And that actually worked out great. So once we started getting into that crowd, things kind of started to snowball. And then of course, things digress when people quit or some shit like that. And then started going back again. So it's just been it's been a ride, but man, I tell you what, I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
That's awesome, man. I love when you have to go through those things, especially when you're young and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, and then you have this real passion to put this band together. It really sets you up for being a member of a band later in life, because people come and go. They can't make rehearsals. They quit because they want to go 4-wheeling, or they get a girl pregnant. I mean, you know how band stuff goes. But to be able go, to be able to kind of keep after it and be like, I'm still going to pursue this and still keep my focus ahead and let whatever may come. And then finally find the groove and find the right guys and find the right people to be around, and the right kind of avenues to get your sound out, to go out and play shows and stuff. No, I think it's a great story, and I love the fact that it's named after a town next to you, man. I love it.
Thank you, my man. Yeah, it's definitely been a journey. I really can't say that I've ever just thought of quitting. I just always just felt something was in it. I mean, I think the band was probably the closest we ever got to breaking up was around 2015. There was just a lot of tension, which there's only me and there's one other guy that's in the band now that was in the band at the time. There was just so much just tension, and we were literally getting nowhere because of that tension, and it just was not getting resolved. And if ever did try to get resolved, more tension would pursue. So that was probably, but I never was going to quit doing music. I was definitely just going to, I was gonna find. I mean, Ventruss always wanted to be it. I've stayed with it this whole time for a reason. But if that were the case, then I'm gone. I'd have moved out or somewhere. I don't know. But Ventruss is I've kept it because I believed in it. Yeah, for sure. And so is and everybody else in the band as well. Don't get me wrong. Everybody in the band has believed in it and has stuck with it. that has stuck with it for as long as they have. This lineup that we've had has been together since about 2017.
Nice.
So yeah, we've definitely stuck with it and keeping it going.
Yeah, band drama is the worst drama. I mean, besides girlfriend drama, like band drama is the worst drama. I mean,
a band drama might be a little bit worse.
Yeah, because it usually involves other people's girlfriends. In a weird.
I think the thing is with band dramas, especially if you're a band with a bunch of dudes, like girls, you like if you're your girl drama, like you don't get like their side of the story because like they see it from completely another side. But like when you're in the room with a bunch of dudes and y'all arguing, like you understand everything, and that's kind of what frustrates you the most. Like you get it, and then sometimes you don't want if like you're a problem, you don't want to like admit to it, or it's a lot. I mean, band drama can be pretty damn close, if not worse, than female drama.
I've heard many a story about band drama and read books about it and stuff like that. But I think that there is also a part of that process is because you have the level of passion that you have for Ventruss and for the direction you want it to go, you're like the conduit that kind of keeps, you kind of have to weed out people. Like, I'm in this, and here's the direction I want to go with it. And people can be on board for like a short period of time. Like, yeah, this is cool. Then like, I don't know if I'm in the same boat, and then the drama starts. But then you find the right guys, you find the right crew, you find the right people, and you're like, all right, now we're onto something. Now you have a good energy going on, and it seems like, get the new single out. Sentiment is out right now, and we talked about outfits for a new music video. I know you guys have been sitting on music. What's the last? Has that kind of been what the last year plus has been for you guys? Is getting music ready to go and ready to fire on all cylinders again?
Yes, absolutely. We've actually, other than Talladega was written before the pandemic, but everything else that we're about to release was written during the pandemic. And obviously we had a lot of time to just rest. There's no shows, which I mean suck. We wanted to get out there and play, but we were resting. There's no shows going on. So we were in the room writing. We had nothing to really rehearse for. Yeah. All we had to do was like write. We weren't going over, which I mean, now like we got shows coming up. So now we're going over like sets and everything, which we're now used to. But at first I wasn't. And even though we played earlier in the year, we went out to Kansas City and St. Joseph, Missouri earlier on in the year. But now that like shows are like really happening around here, we're getting back in that swing of things because we've been writing and, we don't like, one thing about Ventruss is we don't like really write like 100 songs at a time and just pick and choose. Like we kind of like work on a song and make it the best it could possibly be. Like until we're like fully satisfied with it. And that can be frustrating because it feels like it takes forever to write songs. But honestly, like I'd rather put out like 5 songs that are just the best that we can possibly make than like a 12-song album with fucking fillers. Like it just doesn't. I mean, can I curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you fucking curse all you want.
All right, fucking right. Okay, so. I'd much rather just put out quality than quantity. I learned that from a Family Matters episode.
Good reference point. I like that. Carl Winslow will definitely tell you the way to go.
It was actually Eddie Winslow.
Eddie Winslow. See,
it was Eddie Winslow. It was his son. It was, what was the episode? They were clowning Eddie because he was a virgin, and there was this dude who was like the man getting all the honeys and whatever, and and like he found out that like on the other side that the girls were laughing at him, and the girls like he's like I'm the laughing stock of the boys' locker room, and his sister's Laura was like, well, if you only knew, he's the laughing stock of the girls' locker room. And then he told and like the guy was clowning on him, and he said, you know what? I'd rather have quality than quantity, and that I've always remembered that, and I keep that mentality through everything.
I love it.
And I recommend that to everybody. Quality over quantity, for sure.
That's awesome. And I love the reference, Family Matters reference, man. That's taking it back to the old school.
Sure.
But I think there's we live in a different time now. Back in the day, like there was the cycle. You put out a 10 to 12 song album, 3 of which were probably decent, or one was really good, a couple were decent, and the rest was like, we had to get 10 songs out because of that album cycle, because people wanted to have, albums, tapes, CDs. But now everybody's on this whole, like, if you have a song and you want to release it. Do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot your own videos.
The whole entire game has changed, especially with the pandemic. Like, I mean, it was kind of like on its way to be this way, but especially with the pandemic, and then like everybody's attention spans are so limited now. Not everyone can like sit and listen to a 10-song EP. As good as it is, certain bands have that ability to like, and that strong fan base, like bands that have been in the industry for a long time. But like newer bands, it's really, really hard to like release a full album and get everybody's attention. What you really need to do is just like a really good ass single and or three great singles, like amazing, the best that you can possibly make. And you know, and it'll cycle, you know?
Yeah. I think it's great because I think when you talk about attention span, there is people that don't have that kind of frame of reference to be like, I will sit today, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to listen to the entire 12-song album from XYZ band. That's 90 minutes of music. Like, now they just yell at the robot. Like, it's so much easier.
Right.
Be like, yell at the robot, find me a playlist. They go on Spotify and they get introduced. I think the discovery, which is a great, you know, avenue for you guys to be in, is discovery is like super hot right now. Like, yeah,
Yes.
there's the staples, there's the bands like, oh, XYZ released a new song. But there's also this new avenue where bands can get discovered a little bit easier because of places like Spotify. And you're not like, hey, buy our 12-song album and number 7's good and no, number 3 is all right. And you have the ability to say, here's our stuff. Obviously, you're putting music behind it too, which is also a huge thing now. It's not this big undertaking of music video. Oh, geez, like we need to hire, you know, a camera crew for X thousands of dollars. We need to have extras for X thousand dollars. Like, we could go and shoot a video tomorrow if you wanted to. If you had the outfits already, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you have the outfits for that share change, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The whole thing has changed, man. Like, you can literally, if you have the equipment yourself, you can go do it, you know? And yeah, you hammer on the nail, man. Hammer on the nail. 100% right. Definitely.
You guys got some big shows coming up too. I see. We got a Buck Cherry show. My buddies in Adelita's Way. I love those guys. Rick DeJesus and the guys from and Trey and everybody from Adelita's Way. Go back many years with them. A couple of big shows. You guys got the dust all kicked off and ready to go kick people in the face?
Oh, absolutely, man. Stoked for the Buck Cherry show. That's going to be the first one. First show in Baton Rouge since January 26, 2020.
Wow.
Well, we actually did we were playing for our friends in Swamp Stank, who is now defunct. It was their CD release show. Then, so we got that. We've got July 24th in Ocean Springs, Mississippi at the Juke Joint for Dirty 30 Fest. It's going to consist of bands regionally as well as around the country. We got Kingdoms Collapse on there. I believe we have a band from Iowa. I think I got to look at the lineup again. But our buddies in Envision, who we've never played with, but I know all those guys really well. Great band from the coast. Silent Trust as well. Super good band. Excuse me. Then we got the Adelita's Way show with Them Evils and Voodoo 13, who's from out in the Jackson, Mississippi area. That's in Jackson, Mississippi at Howlin' Mouths, as well as September 3rd. We're doing a benefit show in Baton Rouge. It's going to be a food drive. Our buddy Chris Cupp is putting that on.
Nice.
Some good bands from around the area, as well as Honor Me from Austin. Downcast is on it, as well as Sometimes I Swear. So, yeah, we've got some cool shows. And also, I'm getting some of the emails that we're about to announce as well. So, more coming for sure. You know, as well as we're, I mean, obviously now that everything's opening again, we're looking to get out again. You know, I mean, we got to go out to Kansas City early this year, which was awesome. Shout out to Steven Seiferling for helping that, and the dudes in Wind Dark, who's now defunct, now 1,000 Years Wide. Check them out. You know, a lot of shout outs. I'm trying to shout out everybody, man. You got to give everybody credit where credit is due.
Love,
not
man.
everybody. No one's giving. What's that?
Lots of love. Love.
No one's giving the. I feel like people need to start bringing the love back. You know, I mean, we all went through some hell. Everybody's got to get shout outs wherever they get wherever they need it. And where was I going with that? But yeah, a lot of other shows coming up that we haven't announced yet, that we haven't we've confirmed, but like there's still more details that need to be ironed out, flyers and all that shit. So yeah, ready to get back out there, ready to come out, see everybody, meet everybody. It just do what we do best. And like, it's been a whole year of us just sitting around. Like, I forgot what I did for like a year, you know, like I forgot I was a musician. I mean, like I was like, for a while we didn't even write because we couldn't even see each other.
Right.
You know, everybody was stuck in their houses. I mean, we'd call each other, but it's still like when we saw each other, it was like this kind of like, and then like where we practiced at, we weren't allowed to go over there because it's at Sean's parents' house and they didn't want us coming over there. So couldn't practice for a while, and it was just like, man, this is just weird. I just go to work and come home, and I don't get to like really do anything, you know?
Yeah, it's a weird feeling, you know, for the music industry to be in that predicament. And I've talked about this at length on this show and on my other podcasts. Like, everybody got affected, but like, you think about musicians and touring artists and all the bands that go out and play shows and line up short runs and on tour. It's them, and it's the whole process of getting music out. It's the venue. It's the people that are selling tickets. It's the people that are selling beer. Though in Wisconsin, I think we actually drank more last year than we would have in the past. But
well, I know I gained a whole lot of weight from it too.
Stick to what we're good at up here when it gets cold and we have nowhere else to go. But I think that now that things are starting to open up, I mean, I imagine for you guys getting back out, especially with that first, that Buck Cherry show to kind of get things back into full gear. I mean, you got a whole bunch of new stuff that you're going to be able to perform.
Mm-hmm.
You got going to be an amazing crowd. Like, what do you feel like? Is it going to be like the first show, like that show in the garage that nobody showed up for band practice? Like, is it like, what do we do now?
Dude, I'm expecting it to be a great crowd. Yeah. Like, literally, I mean, our first show coming back, it's Buck Cherry. Eve Under Fire's on the bill as well.
Those guys.
So it's a Tuesday night, and the venue I know is kind of like a little bit like they're like very worried about it being on a Tuesday night. But and I am tooting my own horn. I don't care. We are great at selling tickets. We are great at selling and getting people in the door. Like we have been that way since we started getting like on shows that like where that mattered and where we were able to do that. Where bands, a lot of bands, they don't want to sell tickets. They don't want to do that. And it's like, you don't really understand, like, whenever like a promoter like gets you on a show, like especially like a national show, like they're hiring you.
Right.
And, like they're like trusting you to do a good job putting people in the venue because, that's why you're there. You're a local. You can bring local people in, and even if you're regional, whatever. But like, they don't want to get out and sell the tickets, so that shows no proof that did you bring anybody in? Shit, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, so there's like no number. It's all about the numbers, and that's like what a lot of local bands I really hope can understand. It's like it's all about the numbers. That they see the numbers at the venues, and if you get those good numbers, they will treat you like royalty, man.
Right. And you get the callback. You get the callback for the next show. That's coming through. They're like, hey, those guys sold tickets to this. We should get them back on this bill. It's forward thinking. It's, put in the work now.
Oh, absolutely. It's a snowball effect.
Love it, man. Hey, Ben, it's been great getting to chat with you, man, and learning all about the band. And so excited that you guys are back out. I'm excited to see this new music video when it comes out with the glitter and the sequins. I mean, it's going to be amazing. People are going to be mind blown. Like what happened to Ventruss here? I don't understand. But no.
Right.
But congratulations, man, on getting. I mean, it feels like now you got the music in your back pocket. You got shows lining up, more to come. Like the trajectory is about to launch in the stratosphere. So I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you so much, man. It was great talking to you, Cooper. Thank you so much. And anytime, I'd love to come back on the show, man. Thank you so much for having me,
dude. You're welcome anytime. We'll get you back on here sometime soon. Awesome.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Ben. There we go. Ventruss, check him out on all the socials as well. Line up all those shows. You know what I need is a road trip to the Bayou. That's what I need. I think that's I'll make it happen. I'm gonna get off the show, talk to Ben, take a little road trip, get out of Wisconsin for a little bit. Mikhail, I see on your chatting it up. Yeah, Ben, the name Ventruss comes from the city across the lake that he lives on. It's spelled differently, but just getting to some of the questions over here in the chat. So yeah, the name comes from a city in Louisiana across the lake from where he lives. So just a little bit different spelling, but I love it. Great chat. Sentiment is their song that is out right now. Go check out the video. It's on their Facebook page. New music coming soon, as you talked about. They're going to be shooting a new music video very soon as well. Lots of good stuff coming up. Buck Cherry show. Got the Ellie's Way show. Man, good stuff from the guys in Ventruss. Thank you all for tuning in wherever you are. I see we got some YouTubers. We got the Twitch contingent is here. Joe, appreciate you. C-Dubs, always a pleasure. Tomorrow on the show, my buddy Joe Stam, 7'7" Joe. He's not 7'7", but I stood next to him at Fest and I was like, damn, bro, like I'm 6. And my interview with him was like this. Like, it was like my son interviewing me. Like, what are you doing down there? But it was really weird. Joe Stam from the Joe Stam Band is on the show tomorrow. Show starts at 5, and Joe joins the show at 5:10. Lots of stuff to talk about with Joe. Recap Fest from a couple weekends ago. I know they got new music they're working on, and they're back on the road. It's just a good feeling. It's a good feeling to go on your Facebook and to see all of these tour posters and shows and festivals lining up, man. I'm super excited. Get out and see a live show. Until we meet again tomorrow, Joe, peace, and links. Y'all have yourselves a great Tuesday. You feel back in the swing of things. for the week. Thank y'all. Have a good night. Peace.